Welcome to KBS World Radio. You're now tuned in to Korea 24's Korea Book Club, where we explore the world of Korean literature. This is our weekend replay edition, playing back our book segment from Wednesday's show. We hope you enjoy it. I'm your host, Kwon Jang-woo. Joining me in the studio now, we have our literary critic, Barry Welsh. Once again, Barry, hello, it's great to see you.
Yes, hi, it's great to see you too.
Okay, so what are you introducing to our listeners today?
So this week we are reviewing a relatively recently translated novel called The Seoul Park Jelly Massacre by Cho Yeeun. And the book is translated by Yewon Jung, and it comes from Cho's original Korean work, The Seoul Park 젤리장수 대학살. And the English translation was published in the UK by Honford Star just this month, or around about this time. And since her debut in 2016, Cho has captivated many on the literary scene here in Korea. She secured the Kyobo Book Award with her first novel and has continued to release a series of lively yet sinister horror thrillers, I guess we could call them. And Cho has a very large young female audience who are very passionate about her work and who deeply engage with what they often call or fondly call Yeeun's world. And Cho's book, Cocktails, Love and Zombies, has sold over 80,000 copies since it was published in 2020 and has also been translated and released internationally, so in Japan and China and Taiwan. And also, today's book that we're reviewing, New Seoul Park Jelly Massacre, has been picked up for adaptation for a US film adaptation. And it's an experience of a novel. Cho blends horror with social commentary, and it's all wrapped up in this vibrant but disturbing setting of a theme park in Seoul. And the story pivots around young Yuji, whose day at the theme park with her quarrelling parents spirals into a nightmare scenario involving the park's mascots and a mysterious jelly which causes chaos. And it's both a page-turner and a thought-provoker.
Wow, okay, so the New Seoul Park Jelly Massacre, that is quite the title.
Right, yeah.
And quite the setup as well, to say the least. And we actually reviewed the Korean short story collection, Cocktails, Love and Zombies, with Beth a couple of years ago as well. And we were very charmed by its quirky, dark humour. So I'm very excited to hear about this book as well. And you said it's been picked up for a US film adaptation already?
Right, that's,
Interesting, okay. This is a very new English translation, though. Can you tell us a bit more about what it's about?
Right, sure. So the narrative follows Yuji. Yuji is a girl caught in the middle of her parents' constant arguing, and this is during a sort of a supposed day of fun, a day out at New Seoul Park. And Yuji is a mature...
Right, it's a fictional amusement park,
Yeah,
right?
right, okay, yeah, sorry. So it's not a real amusement park in Korea. It's a fictional version of one. But Yuji is a mature girl for her age, and she tries to mediate between her fighting parents and attempt to salvage the day and keep her family together amidst the distractions of the theme park. The novel takes a dark turn when Yuji encounters a mysterious jelly vendor who's handing out free samples of a new jelly, and this seemingly innocent treat leads to catastrophic events that blend horror with a very dark kind of fantasy. And as this jelly begins affecting the park goers in various horrifying ways, Yuji has to navigate through the ensuing chaos, and she encounters the strange mascots that work in the theme park and a variety of bizarre phenomena, and it escalates in a sort of increasing sense of dread and suspense. And so the park itself transforms from this place of amusement into a kind of a nightmarish landscape, and this mirrors Yuji's increasing disillusionment with her family as well as her surroundings. And so what she was doing in this novel, she's exploring themes of family dysfunction, societal expectations, the loss of innocence, amongst various other things. And it's also a critique critique of consumer culture and this idea of the artificial fabrication of happiness, which is symbolized in the deceptive allure of the theme park.
Okay, that all sounds very engrossing and quite chilling as well. Can you tell us more about the characters that we encounter in the story? The protagonist, Yuji, sounds very interesting.
Yeah, right. So Cho does a great job with the characters in the story. So they're vividly real and also deeply flawed. Yuji is a great character. She's portrayed with a great deal of depth. She has this a mixture, an appealing mixture of innocence and maturity, and she has to grow up as she navigates the complexities of her family dynamics amidst this sort of bizarre horror that's unfolding around her. And each of the some of the characters the chapters are told from different points of view, and each character adds a layer of intrigue and emotional depth, and this pushes the narrative beyond, I guess, more sort of standard or typical horror into something more poignant. And the setting is a character in its own right in this book. So the New Seoul Park, with its sort of fantastical rides and its increasingly strange mascots, initially appears as a wonderland of joy and excitement. However, as the story progresses, it morphs into a much more haunting backdrop for the unfolding terror and horror. And this contrast is quite stark, and it's effectively used to heighten the suspense and the horror, just making the park's transformation a mirror for Yuji and the other characters' evolving struggles.
That certainly sounds like a compelling way to use setting in a story like this. Now, were there any particular themes that stood out for you in particular in this narrative?
Right, sure. Yeah, so there are a lot of things going on in this novel. So Cho explores several quite poignant themes. So particularly, like I mentioned, the impact of consumer culture, and then the disillusionment with the sort of artificial, or the facade, or the sort of fake representation of happiness. And this theme park setting symbolizes these larger societal illusions, so the promise of joy and satisfaction that really mask underlying issues or emptiness inside. And so Cho uses this theme park setting with its initial appeal and its initial allure that descends into chaos and terror to comment on how society often sells us a superficial idea of happiness that really, upon closer inspection, can be deeply flawed and even harmful. And additionally, the story also delves into the complexities of family relationships, and it does this through the protagonist, through Yuji. So she makes efforts to keep her family together during the sort of constant their personal conflict, and against this backdrop of this sort of increasingly chaotic day out. And this highlights the strain of personal expectations placed on children, as well as the often heavy burden that they might have to carry sometimes in their families. And the park's transformation from this sort of place of joy to one of horror mirrors or parallels Yuji's shifting view of her family and their interpersonal dynamics, and sort of illustrates how external pressures and internal conflicts can erode family bonds.
That all sounds very impressive, not only delivering on a fun, bizarre horror story, but also effectively conveying its very interesting underlying themes and messages as well. It's called New Seoul Park Jelly Massacre by Cho Yeeun, and it's translated by Yewon Jung. And that was our pick for Korea Book Club this week. Barry, thank you for that latest recommendation. It was a fun one this week. Till next time, take care, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, take care.